Okay. 5 o'clock, Wednesday, the 11th, half hour before the market open. I'm here. Okay. All right. Before we get going, guys, I got a mic. I had a fellow friend who is an aspiring trader, will be a trader, plans to be a trader, said that they can't hear me too well. So we invested in a mic last night. So hopefully you guys can hear me well. If you don't, please feel free to let me know. I always appreciate the feedback and thank you for the suggestion. And outside of that, internet-wise, I got a couple things, a Wi-Fi adapter, along with this other device for my internet connection. So I will be damned if things do not run smooth today. And if you do plan to day trade, guys, having a stable internet connection is vital. These past 2 days have been kind of crazy, and I've never really had this issue, even with my older PC, really old computer, but I never had any issues. I have a newer computer now, brand new computer, and just trying to figure out the kinks here. So today should be a good day to see how the internet does do for me. First thing I do before I get started with trading, I haven't mentioned this just yet. I have a bit of a log here. See if you guys can see that. And what I do on my log here, the first thing that I do is write down how long I slept and how good of the sleep was it. So last night I slept 6 hours and 34 minutes. And I don't go based off my watch how I feel, because your watch will give you a score. So I just do it based out of 10. Today I feel like an 8 out of 10, so pretty good. Most of my days I feel like an 8 out of 10. And then on the other side of my book here, this section over here, I log my trades, my profit and loss on my trades. I do have quite a few rules with trading. One of the bigger rules for me that's really helped hinder having really big losses on my account is limiting my trades to 3 max. So if I go over 3 on trading for the day, I'm obviously not in tune with the market. And at that point, I need to close down my computer. Because in the past, some days I would take 5, 6 trades. And at that point, mentally, psychologically, you're not in the right headspace. And that's when you start revenge trading. That's when you start losing a whole lot more money. So first thing we're going to do, guys, as always, set support and resistance levels here. So I'm going to start with the SPY and Qs, like always. Go to the weekly chart, go to the daily chart. And let me see if I can shrink that a bit. Don't want to do that one. Let's see. Okay. Alright, let's set some levels here. So on the SPY here, I'm on the weekly chart. Again, looking for bounce points. Where are these candlestick wicks touching? As we can see, basically where the price is again today, it seems to be a good area of drawing a support or resistance line. So I only draw two lines, guys. One support line, one resistance line. You can get carried away drawing a bunch of lines on your chart for support and resistance, but for me, that tends to complicate things. So area of resistance, I'm going to do just pretty much where the price is currently at, 677 and I think a good area of support would be off of this wick right here. I'm trying to zoom in on it for you guys. Pretty small candle, but you can see the wick bounced off, came back up, got a good touch point there. Full body candle here, the bottom of it's almost touching, body of this candle is almost touching. This one is touching flush with it, so that seems to be high liquidity areas as well. Let's see. Let's go to this big chart. See if we can't just do it from here so you guys can see clearly. Probably gonna get that message. All right, as always, we get the message. So I think I figured out how to kind of fix that quickly. Here we go. All right, Qs. Let's go back. All right, Qs and SPY, that's what we always want to chart. This is the daily chart. Let's go to the weekly. Zoom out, look left. Okay, here we go. So quite a few touch points. The stock's been in a range here for a couple weeks now, starting February 9th. You can kind of see this small consolidation area. And so that seems to be, to me, a really good area of resistance here. Probably, I'm gonna mark right there, which is 612. And then I think a good bounce point or support area is 597. So for anybody new in here, over here, this is volume by price. So volume by price, meaning these are volume sticks, volume candles, or volume bars, excuse me. The further out these volume bars are, the more liquidity that there was at that price. So these bars themselves, if we scroll all the way to the right, they're going by price. So volume by price. Price is over here. So at this 610, 612 area, there is a lot of liquidity, a lot of buyers, a lot of sellers. This is where, for me, I find my best opportunities in trading is by the edges of the box that I draw. If I do take a trade in between, anywhere within the box, I feel like I'm in no man's land. Even if the setup looks ideal, I don't take it, because what I normally do, I lose probably 99% of the time. And that 1% is not enough for me. And then as we zoom in, where this big bar is as well, you can see there's just lots of touch points. 1, 2, this one wicks through, comes back down, wicks through, comes back down. Full body candle close. This candle here is flush with it. Wicks down all the way to the bottom of that range, comes back up. And then also on the support side, right, we got bounce, 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 bounce. So very high liquidity areas here, guys. That's the only ranges that I'm playing or are willing to take a trade on any chart that I mark up. So outside of that, I'm just gonna go through all of the tickers that I normally trade, see if there's anything that's looking good. Start with Apple here, zooming out. I have a couple touch points of support around like 256, give or take. And area of resistance, got a nice little wick here. And you can see a couple touch points, pretty much where the price is at. So they're making it pretty easy on drawing these support and resistance lines. So 262 for the resistance. Seem to be bouncing in this little mini range right here, which is 254. So to me, that's looking good. Let's go to NVIDIA. NVIDIA, again, you can see a very, very tight range. NVIDIA seems like it wants to at least break out of this mini range where it's at. There's like two different ranges within one big range, guys. The mini range, one of the mini ranges is right here. Pretty much where the price is at is the support area for this mini range. And then we have this, if we want to treat the current price level, this red line as a resistance line, we have this mini range on the bottom half. You can see kind of right in here, kind of right in here, and right here as well. So with due time, guys, you just need screen time when it comes to marking the support and resistance levels. And because at first when I was doing this, it seems kind of hard to draw some obvious lines But in due time, the more screen time you do, things will just pop out to you in terms of where you can draw these lines. And if you're struggling to find areas of support and resistance, that's why having the volume by price bars over here really helps draw those lines. Because if you're drawing a line way up here, like let's say we go to the tip, obviously this is all-time high here, we do have a couple wicks, but if we look all the way left and we still line that up, there's nothing of like high liquidity up here. Yeah, there are some shares that got traded, but it's nothing like down here. So these bars right here, guys, is what will give you good idea where to put your support and resistance. So I think where the price is currently at is a good area, 185 of resistance, and a couple bounce points will be around 177 is what I have here. All right, let's keep it moving. Nvidia's done. AMD, see what AMD's looking like. See, sometimes my software will save the stuff that I draw. So like yesterday when the internet crashed and then I came right back on, I lost all of this information, which is a bummer because when the market's live, I really rely on these boxes that I draw. But today's a new day, so we'll get rid of that one. That didn't look like it was lining up with much. So areas of support and resistance. This one's a little bit harder to judge on quality areas. So again, we're looking left here. We see lots of liquidity from 218 to 200 essentially. Price is floating around 200. That is a really good psychological number. Again, if you were here yesterday, whole numbers, 100, 200, 300. Those are really big psychological areas. And sometimes when stocks are playing around those ranges, or say if a stock is about to break $100 for the first time ever, if the market is strong, a stock that breaks 100 with high volume can push up really fast, really aggressively. So obviously this stock has been flirting with 200, but there seems to be a lot of liquidity happening around 200. We got candlesticks that just keep bouncing around this $200 range. So area of resistance here, pretty much where it's at, 205. Area of support for me, 195. Got a couple bounce points there. Get a little water, stay hydrated. I apologize if you guys can hear me swallow. I got the mic right next to my neck, so this mic better pick up everything. Okay, well, not everything, but let's see. All right, AMD done. Let's check out Tesla. Tesla in a bit of a downtrend. If you like to draw a trend line, guys, this is a pretty obvious trend line. Kind of sloping down here. I don't necessarily play trend lines, but if you're good at playing trend lines, they are fantastic. Pretty much a range that it's kind of going down in. We draw another trend line. These aren't the best lines, but you can see it seems like the market is just kind of floating down here. Going high and then bouncing off, or going high, bouncing off, bouncing off, bouncing, until there is some high volume that can push through either to the downside or the upside with volume. Then it might break out of this range. But if you look at this candle here, have a long body wick. If we go down here, this is my volume. The volume down here, guys, this is everything when it comes to trading. Is there participation? Is there not participation? So we have this really long wick, which ends up being this candlestick right here, this candle bar. If we look at all the volume around it, there is no significant candles that stick out. There's nothing that's just shot up real high. So that's a sign of just pretty much algorithmic trading. There's really no interest in pushing this down. Obviously the price got pushed down, but then it got bought back up for a reason. And there's no volume. So If this thing got pushed down and closed outside of this range, and this had a high volume candlestick, that's a initial signal for bears getting involved. But nothing like that's going on right now with it. And then with the current state of the market's going sideways. And another tip, guys, for anybody who's interested in trading or doing what I do, if the overall market, being the SPY and Qs, is going sideways, the majority of the rest of the market will go sideways. So at that point, you want to play trend trading. For me personally, that's what seems to be more obvious with 5 years of trading experience. When I first started was right after the pandemic, and the market shot up but then sold off rapidly, bear market. That was my first exposure, was a bear market, so trending down. So I had a lot of experience with shorting stocks, and then market shortly went sideways, and then when Trump became president, the market became very bullish, and I was still trying to short a bull market, which is not the best idea unless you have a lot of experience. So if the market's going up, guys, the overall market's going up, it's best to be long biased. Doesn't mean that every trade you should take should be a long. You do have to wait for price action to tell you that it's good for a long to take a trade, but it'd be best to go with the trend. If anybody's familiar with the term, the trend is your friend, it truly is. All right, let's draw some support and resistance here. Area of support, I'm going to draw 383. Seems to be an obvious area. The current price right now for Tesla's at $400. So again, another big psychological number here. Area of resistance, I am going to draw 405-ish. Seems to have a couple touch points here. We got a good one there, a couple wicks touching there. Bounce point there. So that one's looking pretty good to me. Let's see what else we have. Google, PLTR, Amazon. All right, let's keep going. Let's check out Google. See what's going on with Google. Trying to make its way back up. It's kind of in this little range as well. So let's see. Pretty much where the price is at. It's a good area for drawing a resistance or support line. So 306 for resistance here, and then 295 for support. And again, if we look all the way left here, guys, where the current price is, which is this red line, hopefully you guys can see that. The volume bar right here, this is the biggest volume bar out of this little range of bars right here. So lots of liquidity happening around this bar. We're at the 307 price, current price. So Google may test 300 again. It's close to that big psychological number, so there's bound to be some volatility around 300. PLTR, let's see if PLTR looks interesting. I haven't really been keeping an eye on PLTR. Let me draw a box anyways. Let's see, PLTR. Let's say area of support here, 149. Current price is 151, so 150. Again, halfways through the big dollar amount, so the big numbers 100, 200. Another good psychological numbers are 150, 250, 350, $50. So keep those in mind, guys, as you do trade. There's a lot to process when it comes to trading, as it can seem very overwhelming at first, and it is pretty overwhelming at first, but in due time, one thing trading has taught me is that you cannot teach experience. And doing this 5 years now, things slow down for you, but it takes time, and you got to get the reps in. So that's one thing trading has taught me, is if you want to get better at anything, you have to practice, and more importantly, do your homework and work on your weaknesses. To work on your weakness in trading, guys, a really simple one if you're going to start trading is every trade that you take, record the trade, and then at the end of the day, review your trade. Don't review it right after, because mentally your bias is going to be skewed. So do it at the end of the day so you can think more objectively. You'll have a more open mind and see where you're going wrong. And then from there, the next day, don't make those same mistakes. It took me like 3 years, 3.5 years to really just start pretty much doing my homework or journaling my trades, logging my trades. I would just keep making the same mistakes over and over again and expect a different result. And the market loves people like that, because that's the losers of the game, is people who don't try to learn from their craft and keep making the same mistakes. Those are the same people that lose money day in, day out. So I'm sorry guys, Amazon here, area of resistance, pretty much where it's at. 216 is what I'm drawing here. I think a good bounce point or area of support, probably about right there. 210 seems to be a good area. And with this being a high price stock, if the overall market is willing, like maybe a good area to short at the top of the box, and maybe even try to ride it down to the bottom of the box. That's always a nice trade, sweet trade. But those don't happen too often. Sometimes those may take a day or two. So at that point, if you're holding a trade overnight, that's called swing trading. And occasionally I do that, but I'll usually close the majority of my position the day of. Let's take a look. But if a stock is telling me that we're just going to keep moving down on the day or up on the day, I'll definitely keep at least 10 to 20% of my initial position and then see where it takes me. But if I do take swing trades, the overall market has to give me the confirmation. Okay, MU, Micron, very bullish candle here. It's starting to squeeze its way back up. Let's go to the daily here, see how we're looking. Let's go to 60-minute chart here. See if we can see anything. You can see a lot more of these volume bars here. Seems to be a lot of liquidity around this 415 value, so that might be a good area of resistance to draw. I'm basing it off of this little point here. You can see a couple touch points, and then as we look left, do we see a lot more bounce points happening around that 415? I would say so. I will point those out here in just a sec. Let's see. Just drawing my area of support. Let's say right there. Okay. Area of resistance 415. We have that big bar here. It's kind of hiding right now, but it's under there. Couple touch points. You can see prices bouncing. Tried to go through it, rejected it. Couple bounce points in this range, and bounce point. And if we look more left here for support, good bounce point. Tried to break through this support as well, couldn't do it. Consolidated in this range, couldn't do it. Wicked up here, came back down, so that seems pretty good for me. And again, I'm only taking a trade near these levels. We have 6 minutes to the open. All right, now you want to do that again. Validate range. Okay, we're getting there. All right. Computer wants to make it hard. SNDK is the acronym or ticker name for SanDisk. I have traded this one a lot and have done well with it. This is a much higher price stock, $622 a share. The liquidity is pretty dang poor on this, so with trading this stock, you really have to wait for confirmation. And the final confirmation, again, guys, is always the volume. Is there interest as we're moving up? Is there lack of interest? Are buyers stepping in? Are sellers stepping in? What are the big whales thinking at these certain prices? Let's see. I think a good area of resistance here, pretty much where the price is at, 626. Seems to be a couple bounce points around 606. So to me, that's looking pretty good. Okay, we have drawn a lot of stuff here. So now I'm just going to get all my charts ready. If we look at the SPY here, real small, it's kind of hard to tell, but we have the box here starting to flirt with the box. VWAP, this blue line, is getting pretty close to the box. What I like to see for potential long is if this blue line, the VWAP, is near the box, and looking for a continuation up. And then outside of that, playing the box, I like to play with the box, or excuse me, the price being far from VWAP, but we're getting near the box. So let me just get up my, set up my charts, and then I'll give you guys a good kind of a mental picture of what I look for. So let's get that set up. MU, that guy's cruising up. So I have a couple monitors, guys, to just track the charts that I did, draw support and resistance on. Let's set up one more thing here. For anybody who can see this, this is pretty much it's called a level 2. Essentially, it's basically showing limit orders, or where orders are waiting to be filled. This is Tesla here. You can see as we look up, we got some of these big bars right here, and if you look to your right, 7,547, that's how many shares are waiting to be filled. So this tool here is very important because it pretty much shows me where price may gravitate towards. This seems more bullish to me than bearish. You can see the much bigger orders seem to be to the upside, but you can also see some orders stacking to the downside. So right now this seems kind of more even in a sense. It doesn't seem more bearish or bullish, so it is just pre-market. But I do utilize occurring buyers and sellers. Big red bubbles are sellers, green bubbles are buyers. So I'm gonna swing that over to my other chart here. Let's close that. Okay, what is most interesting right now? Hopefully the internet's good, guys. I bought a couple things that hopefully will do good for me. So 2 minutes till the open. Nvidia is near the top of the box. Nvidia is interesting. Do that. And you just setting up my other charts here. Yep, always get that message. All right, 1 minute to the open. I'm gonna screen record it as well, so please record your trades, guys. That's very important to do, and then do your homework. Let's pause that. Let's do that one more time. Let's put that in an area that's not in our way. Okay, cool. All right, let me see. PLTR, Google. Google's flirting with the box here. AMD. Let's put SanDisk over here. All right, stock market is open. I normally don't trade the first 5 minutes. I have in the past. I've had some success. I think I've had more failures with it, so there is no rush for me right now for these next couple minutes. Hopefully the internet's looking stable right now. My ping is rather high on here. Let's see. I'm gonna switch quote servers, see if that fixes it. Seems to be going down. Okay, let's check price action. Let's go to Nvidia. Nvidia always has high liquidity, so if it's looking laggy on Nvidia, then the connection is not the best, and it's definitely looking choppy. So switching quote servers, a lot of times that can fix it. It doesn't seem to have fixed it just yet. So I'm gonna just thumb through these. Okay, that quote server seems to be better. Okay. Let's get a drink of water. Alright, zooming in here, guys. My charts that I have a 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute. Ping's looking good, so that's good. Alright, fingers crossed, internet does not crash. I have a high power computer now. I shouldn't have any issues. Looking to our right here, SPY is breaking out of the box here. Q's is getting close to the box. That's pretty bullish. However, it doesn't seem like everything else is moving up in suit with it, so we'd like to see everything move with it. Tesla broke through the box with a lot of volume. Let's put Tesla on the screen here. 1 minute chart. Look at the volume here, guys. I drew the box, and the biggest candle on the volume is this candle. It's a full green candle, so very bullish price action. What would be nice for a continuation long is this blue line VWAP get back down or get right on this box. I want to see the price come back down, watch the price action there, and then look for potential long. Could be potential short as well, just depending. Nvidia VWAPs by the box. See what Nvidia does. First candle, 2.3 million shares got bought up, sold off. That's pretty bearish, but nonetheless the price hasn't squeezed down aggressively really fast, so it's not necessarily bearish, but I have more of a bearish bias with this long wick showing heavy selling pressure and lots of volume. Lots of volume. Let's go to Tesla. Tesla's moved up pretty aggressively, pretty fast. Let's go to Tesla. So I'm on my options chart here. I'm just looking at some puts, which means if I'm long puts, I'm expecting the price, the overall price, to go down. We're seeming to stall out just a bit here. If I do take a short right here, I'm getting out at the box at VWAP. That's definitely confirmation to close my position. I want to see price push up here. Volume's starting to die down. Got a tweezer bar, whatever you want to call it. So buyers and sellers are duking it out right here. Price seems to be stalling just a bit. There is a huge order at 410, 63,000 shares to be filled. I'd love to see it hit this order and then watch what the price action does from there. If this order gets filled, which is 64,000 shares to be sold, if the buyers step in there, it'll push the price up. But if this order does get filled, price doesn't get pushed up. We have some decent extension from VWAP. I'll probably take a short back down to the box here. So let's see what happens. Are we even going to feel 410? It got to 410. Orders are filled. 411 has about 10,000 shares. Squeezing up. Very bullish price action, guys. We got to take account all charts here. 2 minute, 3 minute, 1 minute. Lots of volume here. What is price going to do? Is it going to keep pushing up? Or are we going to sell off a little bit? Starting to pull back a little bit. right back below 410. I'm just watching here, guys, price action. I want to see if it's going to test that high. If it can test this and it doesn't push through it, I'm going to take a short, at least back down to VWAP. Price action seems pretty stagnant. Are you gonna push up? Just watching, guys. Have to wait for my signal. Seems like we're stalling. I'm long puts here, so I'm expecting a pullback. If we can get back to VWAP, that'd be cool for a nice little squeeze. 4 contracts, if I get stopped out, it's going to be above this range, 411. 4 contracts equal 400 shares. Looking for the pullback to at least VWAP. This moving average is lined up with it as well, so I don't want to get greedy and wait for it to hit the box. If we can pull back. The level 2 is definitely more bullish. So I'm not looking for a huge reversal. I'm just looking for some money. If we look at this 1 minute chart, you can see a lot of liquidity happened at 408. So that can be a potential area for it to bounce. So if it can break through this level, the next area of liquidity is 406, which is pretty much a VWAP, which is where I might just get out.